for yourself by the time you're 25?
Yeah. Let's all laugh at that together.
Now you're 30-something and you don't have the car,
The job,
the business,
the spouse, and feeling a little like a mess?
We're here to tell you you're still on track to that dream and doing just fine. I'm Beleza.
I'm Kiki.
I'm Gigi, and this is your podcast. Welcome.
Welcome to 30 and a Mess. What up, 30 and a Mess? It's your girl, Beleza.
It's your girl, Kiki.
And it's your girl, Gigi. Welcome back for those who are returning, and welcome for those who are new. And if you are here, your life is probably in shambles. So I hope you got your buckets, and your mops.
That's how much of a mess we are, y'all.
Oh my goodness, I'm trying to reel it in, y'all. I'm really trying to reel it in. Anyway, today we are going to cover the topic of spinning the block. You know, we've lived life and we've done with our teens.
Why you gotta say it like that?
We're done with our 20s, and here we are in our 30s.
Why you gotta say it like that?
And so, spinning the block. A lot of people don't know what spinning the block is. So, what would you define spinning the block as?
You lost and you're trying to find a parking spot, and so you spinning the block.
Oh my gosh.
No, spinning the block is just going back to like an old flame or an old failed relationship and seeing if maybe it could work out the second time around.
Exactly. So spinning the block is, somebody you used to mess around with or used to mess with or talk to, whatever you want to call it. And you leave them for a little period of time or a long period of time, and then you return back. I don't know if you can call it spin the block if you haven't talked to them in like 10, 15 years, but I would still call it spinning the block because, people are supposed to change after that time. Like, are you meeting a new person when you spin the block and you come back to them, or is this still classified as spinning the block? Like it's been 10 years,
I think it's still considered spinning the block because at the end of the day, you experienced that thing before, and even though a large span of time has lapsed, you just don't know what you're going to get by going back. So I do think it's still spinning the block.
Going back to the hometown.
You might get the same thing, you might get something different, but either way, you won't know till you go back around.
Big fact. Big fact.
Walmart movies are notorious for that, but they always showing somebody who spin the block, went back to their hometown, and they leave back with their old high school sweetheart, and they make it, they happy, they get married, they have kids. They be doing it all on Hallmark. But have you ever thought about spinning the block?
Yes, I have. I've done it.
What?
I always said I would never do it, and recently I did it. Never say never, y'all.
Isn't that what they say? Never say never.
Never say never.
Yo, you wanna tell us about it?
Sure. So, a guy did me dirty.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up stopped talking. We ended up not talking, but it's a guy that I dealt with for years. Years. I've dealt with him for years. And
what's years for you? Like how many years?
We're not gonna put a number on it because then the person will know who it is.
Okay. I feel you.
Just know when I say years, it's like prolonged, like a long time.
Okay.
So I officially deaded him, which is good. I needed that space. I needed to breathe and whatever. Anyway, so it's been a minute since I made love. And I'm not talking about having sex. I'm not talking about fucking. I'm talking about making love. Okay, y'all, there's a difference.
There is a difference.
You can have it all in one session, and I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted to make love. I wanted to feel that passion of somebody truly loving me. And so I spun the block.
What about you, Kiki? Have you ever spun the block?
Girl, yes. A few times.
You said how many times?
A few times. But I will say this, it was with intentions to make sure that I've covered all my bases before I was deading the person for sure. But I'll even say now, everybody knows that I have a lovely fiance, and even for our relationship, we did have a period of breaking up for quite some time, and we came back to each other, and now we're engaged. So this time, the spin the block worked for me.
So yes, I spun the block before. So one time was more recently with somebody that we have great chemistry. It's just that we moved so far apart, and I feel like they needed time to grow because they are a lot younger than I. But we're still mad cool with each other. Like he's a sweetheart. And then I did spin the block with the narcissist, y'all, and I realized that he's still stupid. He's still a narcissist.
Still a
He's
narcissist.
still like ridiculous, and nothing happened with us because like once you stupid, like I can't, like that's not gonna work. She's not gonna work down there. So nothing happened with us, but just to confirm that my decision to move on from that relationship was valid was more than enough because it has been years, you guys, and I thought this person would grow, and they did not grow. They did not grow. So when it all boils down, one of the spin the blocks was worth it, and the other one was a waste of my complete freaking time, almost a detriment to my mental health. It was
Yeah.
a lot going on. Was your spin the
Girl.
block worth it?
And I think that's why I've always been afraid to spin the block.
I
think with the person that I spin the block with, I knew they were going to give me exactly what I needed and wanted because I knew they still loved me. And, you know, I don't know.
Oh, so you were more strategic with your spinning the block. Okay.
Yeah. Because again, I also said I would never. And so I'm like, listen, if I'm thinking about this, I got to make sure, to your point, I get what I want. And will it be worth it? And, you know, you never know until you try it. But I probably thought about it for like a good month and a half before I actually reached out. Even how I reached out was strategic.
I don't think I thought that hard.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, but again, this was like I was spinning the block. I was strategic. Even how I reached out was strategic to the point it threw them off because they know I don't double back.
Would you say, "Hey, big head"? Hey, big head. Hey,
No,
stranger.
I was like, hey, what's going on? You know, the simple, what's going on? Hey, I'm good. How are you? And of course, they genuinely care about me and my success. So they're just asking about everything.
Yeah.
And they reached out to me again because I was just like, all right, I don't think he picked up. I think he really thought I was just down to say hello. So he was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, how are you? He was like, nothing, just thinking about you. I was like, I've been thinking about you too. And he was like, what? Well, what? So now he's thinking I'm about to bring up all the F shit. When I tell you he was prepared, he was prepared. He was like, all right, go ahead and shoot. And I was like, making love to you. No. I didn't even say making love to you. I was like, you inside of me. And he said,
put the game down.
When I say he instantly video called me and was like, whoa. That threw me off. Okay. What do you mean by that? And then I was very nonchalant about it.
That's pretty clear, sir.
Right. But you know, guys like
They like to hear you say it.
I was very chill about it. And they was like, well, do you want to do it today? I was like, nah, I'm busy. Like, don't get me wrong, I want it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way for it.
I'm not gonna break my neck for it.
Right. I waited this long. Listen. I don't need it today. But yeah, like he made sure I told him everything that I wanted, and he made sure I had exactly that. It was great.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
Good.
And obviously for Kiki, it was worth it because now she's marrying her.
Right.
Yes, but let's talk about the frogs, okay? The ones that were actually frogs.
Damn. Not the frogs.
Oh God. The first one was my first ever boyfriend, and we spent the block a couple times. Came back, left. Left for a time period, came back, tried it again, worked it out.
That first love is hard to shake, man.
Oh my God, it was horrible. And he's exactly where I left him. He was exactly where I left him. He ain't doing as far as I know today, is nothing's really changed about him and his mindset and the way he is. And he's very narcissistic. and not by today's standards of everybody's narcissistic. He really was like he never took accountability for a lot of stuff, and everything was everybody else's fault. And this was happening to him. And I was if I'm a problem to you, there's a problem in general in life, because I don't bother nobody. So, I tried that. And the reason why I tried that, A, first love, and B, I felt every time I went back, I still felt like I never gave 100% of myself to him to really say I gave this a full shot. So that was one of the reasons I kept going back in that aspect.
Yeah.
Another person, I've always thought he was a good guy, but when I tried to bring it back, it seemed like he was empty.
Dang, I hate that feeling. Like, why y'all be empty like that? Like,
right.
It was like his whole personality shifted to his circumstances, and nothing was like fun for him. Like life was serious, and it was just really awkward. It was a really awkward spin back. Like I was like, damn, I thought this one might be better because of time, but it got worse.
I feel like there needs to be like, we need to start holding our friends accountable for going to go get help when they get empty like that. Like there's no way that he don't have nobody around him to tell him like, yo, bro, like you need to go get some therapy.
Yeah, and the crazy part is I believe he has like friends, and he always says like, oh well, I can't count on, like he's always mentioned me and Beleza's relationship, and he's like, like I like how like y'all are like friends, like y'all really count on each other, like y'all really have each other's back. And I'm like, yeah. Like right. Like he's like, well, I never experienced that. And I had to ask him, I was like, is it because people have done you dirty, or is it because you're not allowing people in that space? Because I can tell you, I felt blocked. Like I just literally felt, no matter how much I was trying to get through to him or talk to him level, or even joke with him, I was blocked.
He needed therapy. He don't need no people. He needs therapy.
Yes. And then of course my lovely fiance now, we took a break. Well, we broke up. It wasn't really even just a break. We literally made it clear that this was a breakup. We're gonna move forward. All of those things. And that was just because we both decided that we don't know if the future was there for us. So literally we both were gonna move forward, but he reached out and I said, yep, take me back. I don't want to be out here in these streets.
These streets are treacherous, man. All these people think that, all these married people that's coming back to the streets, they think that's greener. The grass is greener over here, but let me tell you something right now, it ain't.
The grass ain't greener
with fecal matter.
The grass ain't greener, but it's different. And when you're used to one way of things for so long, shifting the mode is difficult, but it also has its fun in it too. So, I can understand the ones that's been single for so long that's like, no, I'm ready for a relationship now. I'm tired of this. And I can understand people that's been in relationships for so long that's like, I kind of want to see what is like back out there again. Like I can see both.
Let me tell you something right now. It's fecal matter out here. That's what it is. You don't know. It's littered all the place. You gotta watch where you step at all times.
There is pee in the pool.
There's STIs in the pool at this point.
Oh yeah, I told you about that earlier too. Like everybody been so focused on COVID, the STIs and STDs have been on the rise. So y'all gotta be careful out here. By the way, spinning the blocks out here. Make sure you safely spin the block. So obviously, Kiki, you had the situation that was set up for spinning the block being of a benefit. So what did it take for that type of spin the block to be the perfect situation to like align?
Oh, girl. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was rough in the beginning, mainly because I did not relinquish trust again. And he as a guy he's already a great guy, and I know that. You know what I mean? It wasn't a matter of, am I going back to bullshit? There was no bullshit in our relationship to begin with. But I had to just trust him to say, this is what I plan on doing differently. Of course I have to give my own boundaries to him. Like, this is what I need from you in order for this to work. That had to happen, and he delivered that. And he did it for a long time. I know a lot of people put time frames on something, but he did it without knowing a time frame. I
Wow.
just literally act like this is what I need for you to feel comfortable enough to get us fully back together. And he just said, okay. He didn't say how long I have to do this for. He didn't say, well, what about this? And that he didn't say any of that. He just said, okay. And he worked at
Wow.
that up until I was ready to fully take the relationship back.
That's
Mm.
nice.
Yeah, and we did that for I want to say like September, October up until like June. So he was like trucking along for a while.
Wow.
It was a while. And mind you, this is, I'm somebody he's been with. We've been together. We've done this. So for me to basically say, oh, we're starting over kind of thing, like making it seem like, oh, you got to prove this. And he just was like, sure.
Shoot. What about you, Beliza? Like, what would it take for you to like? What would be the perfect situation for you to spin the block? Like the perfect situation for you to spin the block and for it to work out.
I don't think there's a perfect situation. You'd
Mm.
have to have money.
Damn.
Shoot, you
I
would
know
have to
that's messed
have.
up, right? But it's like I really want for nothing. So like you would have to come back and just tell me you're gonna utterly spoil me. But the guys did me dirty. There's no I don't see why I would spin back. Like I understand Kiki's point because her situation was very different.
Mhm.
Mine, they did me wrong, and it's tough. Like the trust is broken at that point. So, I mean, if one of my steps spinning the block around for.
I mean, that's what Key just said. She said the trust wasn't there, so he had to build that trust again.
Yeah, but she was willing to do that. I'm not.
Uh,
Yeah.
Like she was willing to work at that, and she gave like you need this, and that. I don't. I don't.
mm,
Not for again. This is coming from anybody I would spin the block around for. Even the one that I reached out to. That's probably the one that I was actually in love with and saw a future with. He was the only one I saw my children with, and even for him,
Love ain't enough. I tell people that all the time. Love is not
right?
enough in a relationship. It is not enough. It's a great foundation, but that's not what relationships are built on.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would honestly, I would be asking for too much. I would be asking for perfection, and that doesn't exist.
Mm.
So I don't think it would be fair for me to give my list because he would literally have to give up a lot just to make me happy, and I would never want, even with all the messed up stuff. I wouldn't do that to him. Like he would literally have to give up his business for me. Yeah, that's
Damn.
crazy, right?
Rightfully so.
Rightfully right.
In
If
this
y'all knew the
circumstance,
background of it, you would know why I say
rightfully
that.
so.
But he
But
would
wait, how he
literally
gonna
have to
get
give
rich
up
if he
his
gotta
business.
give up his business?
Figure it out. You can come up with another business.
Do the
What,
same
he
shit
in
you
the
did.
porn industry or some shit?
You
Like,
don't know he's not in the porn industry. He's not a
okay,
drug dealer or anything like that.
okay,
He doesn't even drink or smoke.
It's
Um
nothing illegal, y'all. Nothing
right.
illegal.
Nothing illegal. But
okay.
he would literally have to get bought out of the business that he's in and start a new one. He'll figure it out. If that again, if I'm the one creating the boundaries and the standards, he's
Yeah.
gonna have to fulfill it, right? So that would be one of them. And again, I think that's unrealistic unless that was something that he literally did and then came to me and was like, listen, I did this, I did that, I did this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to work for nothing, treat you like gold. But
That ain't
Shit,
gonna
that ain't gonna work for some. You want told him to give up his business. You gonna have to work for something.
hell no. Hell
You
no.
I got no income. You gonna
You're
have to
not
do
gonna ruin my
something.
list. Kiki, I didn't ruin yours. Don't ruin my list. This is my list.
You right. I was disrespectful. You absolutely right.
Disrespectful. And I stated it. I gave the disclaimer. It would not be fair, but this is my list.
I'm not disrespectful. You right. You right. Carry on.
Disrespectful. I gave a whole disclaimer and I'm still getting ridiculed. Nah, but all jokes aside. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like honestly, like they're just realistically, there's no list that would work.
Dang. For me, for the situation to be perfect for me to spin the block, it would have to. I mean, I've done it once or twice, three times a lady. Now I've actually done it three times. Now I think of it. But for me to like for that situation to sustain, It would have to be cue to be Simone's song. Nah, it would have to be like, it would, yeah, I agree with you, Beleza. It would have to be stellar, like over the top.
Yeah.
Like, bring me the fucking moon, bring me the stars. Like, you gonna have to do the most.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to levitate or something. Like, you're gonna have to like you're gonna have to do the most.
She said you're gonna have to reach out to Marvel, gain some superpower, figure it out.
But like, when you spin the block, or when you have spun the block, did you give yourself boundaries?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
What about you, Beleza? Did you give yourself boundaries?
I did. I had to.
Shit, I ain't give myself no boundaries. I'll be flying by the seat of my pants. I have zero boundaries.
I had
none. So, like, what were some of your boundaries? Can you like share them with me? Enlighten me. It was that rough creating the boundaries.
Hell yeah, you're in love with somebody. It's hard.
It's hard. Like, I had to stifle myself a lot because in the moments that I wanted to give all of my love all over again, I had that smack in the face reminder as to why this ended in the first place, and that I gave 100% of my authentic self before, and it burned me. So there is fear that's tied to that. But like I said, I was willing, like when it came to my fiance, I was willing to build that trust with him because I have to remember who he was as a man.
Yeah.
He's never shown me any bad before the breakup. And the breakup wasn't on some like, oh, he cheating. And it wasn't on that type of way, So even the breakup wasn't on something that was crazy. So to me, I had to remember the man he was for me to fully get back to being like, okay, let's do this again. But when I was in that period, I was like stifling myself a lot in terms of being like, I love you, or being lovey-dovey the way I was, operating in that feminine energy, because I didn't want him to feel like he had it.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to think automatically you had me. Like, when I gave those boundaries in terms of what he needed to do to get me back, I wanted to make sure that he understood, you have to show me that that you are spinning the block again because you really want this. I already proved it the first time. So now you have to prove it to me. So if I'm making you prove it to me, my mindset was, I can't give anything in this process, which I don't think that's right either. I think if we're both trying to make something work, we both should be coming to the table. But to me, it was like, well, you're the one who dropped the bag, so pick it up. That's being real. On the other two, like my first relationship, I went in full force every time, and that was stupid. That was so dumb. Every time I gave 100%, went full force, was like, yeah, I need you to do this. Like, there was no boundaries on the first one. The second one, because he put up on such a block, I put up all the blocks. Like, I made it very difficult. Like, I was out there. Like, if you ain't gonna say nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing. But buddy, like, I'm gonna keep moving the way I'm gonna move, and you figure it out.
Oh, I guess. Well, now that you say it like that, I guess I did give myself like a few little boundaries. Like, one wasn't like, don't fall too deep for one.
That's good.
How you know you falling deep?
Huh?
How you know you even falling deep? Like, when is the moment that you're like, I'm in too deep?
You know yourself. You know when you falling deep. You know yourself.
Even old boy in Get Out knew when he was falling deep. And he was in a trance.
And he was in a trance. Like, you know when you falling deep. Come on now.
You know. Like, your body changes. Your emotions and your body change.
So is that a matter of you feel yourself falling deep, or you're just like, it's too late, I know I'm deep?
Nah. You feel it when you feel it when it's happening. When you like releasing, like you're trusting a lot more. You're releasing a lot of the notions. Like, you feel yourself falling deep. You could feel it. But like, do you think this spin the block? Do you think this is something like?
Wait, I didn't talk about the boundaries.
My bad. That's my bad. I got a little overzealous. Got a little overzealous.
She got excited. My boundaries were because this person was also my best friend, so it's easy for us to have like conversation and all of that stuff, and so I had to I had to, the boundary was more so with me. I had to shut my emotions off, which sucks, but it was the only way to have such an intimate moment without falling back into the swing of things. Because again, it's so easy. It's one of those, like, you don't see this person for years, but once you see them, you pick right back up where you left off. That's how smooth it was. So the boundaries really had to be with checking my emotions, not shutting them down, because of course you can't really make love with shutting it down completely. But it's a skill set, though, y'all. It's a skill set. It is possible. Bad habit, but possible. But I think I had to check my emotions at the door, make sure there's just certain things, and then you're in that space. So you want to make sure you're not asking questions that you would normally ask when you're with them, because it could bring up and start a whole fire. And you don't do that. So you gotta, you have to create boundaries with moments like that. Yeah, this is why I don't like spinning the block.
Oh, so it's not like, so you don't spin the block because you don't like it. It's not because like you don't have the opportunity.
Oh yeah. They're still in my DMs to this day. And I'm not even talking about that one person. I'm talking about just men from when I was even back to high school days. My DMs. It doesn't matter. Like, girl, I got receipts. Men who are engaged still in my DMs. I got receipts. So don't try it, fellas. Don't come out the side of your neck. But again, you just don't entertain it. I'm like, we ended for a reason. Let it be that.
That's interesting. Do you feel like spinning the block is like something that's more? Is that something new, or do you think that people been doing that for ages? Like, do you think that this is something that our generation is doing, or generations before us been doing it, been on it?
Ages. Even Jesus spin the block.
Oh,
right.
Jesus.
Yeah, they've been doing this for ages. I mean, hell, that's how some of our grandparents have double families and shit.
Damn, you have to take the double family.
You didn't drop the block they was on.
Damn.
But I will say one thing. Sometimes it is good, because again, a positive comes out of it. The two people grow, and sometimes you have to let go of each other to come back to each other.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I know a lot of people have like certain rules in place where they're like, oh, I would never go back to an ex-wife, but just even speaking from my experience, I've had the bad and the good with going back. Like, sometimes it is a matter of, sometimes you have to separate to kind of grow in your own space and then kind of better for each other. And that's if it's healthy. I'm not talking about those super toxic ones.
Right. Like the abusive ones. Like, no.
Yeah.
But sometimes people get, like, me and my fiance, we were together when we were 23 or 24, and we're engaged now at 32, 33. Like, we had a lot of growing to do, and we did a lot of it together, but we didn't have a space before that breakup to understand things of ourselves.
Yeah.
So in this aspect, the breakup actually helped us, mold us to be better for each other.
Yeah, I can see that.
So wait, how long was your separation from your now fiance? Like, how long was that?
It was in stages. So the breakup was for like, it was the breakup stage where we legit were like done. It was like 6 months. Maybe even longer than that. I would say it was about 6 to 8 months of us just strictly being like done, like not even going back to have sex with each other, like legit being like, if we're talking, it's all over logistics, because I moved out and all that stuff too. So it was like literally just over logistics stuff. I will say another maybe like 8 months of us talking again, like just basically getting back acquainted. And then, ever since then, we got back together. And before the proposal, I think we were together for like another 8 months or something like that. And it was a process.
I wish that we could see forward and backwards within our lives. Like, I wish we could see the whole timeline of our lives. But that being able to see that might change the decisions that we make. We would never know, like, what it would be like to not spin the block versus spinning the block every so often.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it's a matter of like hopping into faith about it, and just what are you willing to compromise on? Because one thing about me is I'm willing to compromise on a lot of stuff if it makes sense. But I also know people that's like, no, like if this is what I said the first time and you didn't meet that, then it's done, and that's okay too. So it's really just about what are you willing to give and take.
Yeah. Who do you want to work it out with, really?
Yeah, because like I said with my fiance, I knew he was a good guy. I know him; he's a great guy. So spinning that block wasn't hard for me to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But spinning the block with my first love, that was stupid of me.
We
he
ain't
was
know
trying
any
to
better
get
back
by.
then.
Right.
Come
I
on,
was
give
like, it was
yourself some
experience. Don't
grace.
say stupid.
Give yourself some
Experience.
grace.
Giving myself grace. Like he didn't present a lot of those qualities that it would have made it worth it to go back. But I didn't know that then. I was still finding myself, you know, you know.
Yeah.
But if 33-year-old me today was to look at that relationship, I'd be like, oh hell no, I'm not going back to that. This is done. This is over. This is done. No.
Is there any spinning blocks that you regret, like completely?
No.
Yeah, I only had one, but no, it turned out okay. We actually talked about some things, so it was cool.
Yeah, I regretted spinning the block with that damn narcissist. I didn't have to tolerate that shit. That was stupid. But
Yeah.
I ain't know no better. I was hopeful. Like this, that was the second person I ever like talked to in my life, and I thought he would grow, man. I thought he would grow.
I mean, I feel like everybody I've been with, I've gotten lessons from.
Mhm.
I don't take any regret in any decisions I've made.
Mhm.
But regardless if I feel they were stupid or not, I don't have regrets in that. I would probably make those same decisions.
Do you think so? I know we spin the block on relationships, but have you ever spin the block like when it comes to like restaurants or food service? Can you call that spin the block? Like you have one bad experience, and then you don't go for a long ass time, and then you go back. You're like, let me try this food again, or let me try this restaurant again. Like, see if it was just that day. Like, have you ever done that? Can that be considered spinning the block?
It is considered spin the block, and no, I have not.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
I have not. If that shit was bad, that shit was
That
bad.
was bad. Yeah.
Nah, I spent about with restaurants before. Cause I was like, maybe it was a bad time. Let me try something different. Then I go back and that stuff's still terrible. And I'm like, all right, that was stupid.
You like punishment, Gigi. You like.
Nah, I just like to give it a chance. Like, cause I make rash decisions. Like, like I told you, I fly by the seat of my pants. So I make decisions like very cutthroat, very rash. Like now, the moment. So I have to make sure for myself. Like I was like, oh, let me. Maybe it was a bad day for them. Let me try.
That's fair. That is fair.
Oh no.
Girl, no.
That's fair.
But you would think by now I will learn my lesson. Like, no, G, your first reaction is the best reaction. Keep it moving.
It's the thrill. It's the thrill, Gigi.
It's the suspense.
That's the thrill.
Oh my goodness! Like I would like to ask our parents about their situations. Do you think they would answer like honestly?
No.
I think mine would, but
Yeah.
again,
My parents will not tell me.
Family's pretty straightforward, so
No, I don't think my family will tell me for real.
Yeah, I don't think my family would tell me for real as well. I asked my mother the other day. I said, "Mommy, how many boyfriends have you had?" She said, "As many boyfriends as I have kids." I said, "So you only had 3 boyfriends?" She said, "Yep."
not.
Now, mama.
Now, mama.
Now, mama.
But
Now.
she also come from like the generation where they used to shame women for what they did.
Mm-hmm.
No, my mom has been pretty honest, and I never really asked my dad. I never really cared, but my dad's very blunt, so
That should be funny. You should ask him just to see what he says.
I should. Because my mom's mom, I love you, but like my mom's love life is probably way more simpler than my father's. So my father's would be very entertaining. I won't say more.
Wait, does he have more kids or no?
We have a half sister before my mom.
Oh, okay, but he don't have no more kids after y'all.
No.
He got his tubes tied. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. For y'all who don't know, Beleza's parents are older. That's the older generation. They don't be tying their tubes. The men don't be doing all that.
They don't be. Getting vasectomies.
Yeah, vasectomy. Yeah, I had somebody who it's not really spinning the block, but I met them when I was in Germany. At the time they were married. I told them, I was like, I don't date married men. I'm not into that. So you hit me up when you are completely divorced, everything's worked out, blah blah. Few years go by, they finally divorced. They hit me up on Facebook. But when I first met them, they only had one kid. But now they have 3 kids, of course, from the wife, 3 kids. They got a lot going on. They had a vasectomy. And so I was like, talking to them, I'm still trying to get to know them because I had a extreme attraction to them. But I just was like, I don't know if you and I are gonna work out. You got 3 kids now. Like when I met you, you only had one, and now you got a whole gang. Like I don't know if that's gonna work out for me.
Not a gang.
A whole gang. I was like, plus I want kids too, and you got a vasectomy. I don't know if that's gonna work. He's like, if we made it, I would get it reversed. I was like, you would get it reversed? He's like, yeah, I would get it reversed. I said, but that's not a guarantee to work. And he's like, it's not, but I would do it. And I just in my head, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to chance that bull crap.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But he's a sweetheart. He is a sweetheart. But I know I'm a little jaded too. I don't know if he's a sweetheart because he wants the goods or if he's a sweetheart because he genuinely is a sweetheart.
Sweetheart.
I'm looking at everybody with 4 or 5 eyes.
All right.
But I think spinning the block is healthy when as we're growing and developing as people, as adults. Of course, be strategic, of course. And of course, give yourself boundaries because if not, you'll fall too deep and then you're going to be out here looking stupid. That's what I take away from this situation. Like, I think it's important to do it at least once in your life.
At least one time. I would say that it's not always bad to give things another shot. Like sometimes the second chance does work out, but you won't know until you try it. So if you go with your gut feeling, if you feel like this is something that you could like just see and make sure, go ahead. Because if it doesn't work out, you can just always be like, all right, we're gonna cut this again, and I'm good.
I'm gonna leave y'all with Gigi and Kiki's because if anything, I'm just exploring it. So like honestly, like mine's is a back and forth. Like I don't care to spin the block. I don't really see a point to spin the block, but I understand benefits that does come from it. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all for tuning in on this one. I thought this one was dope. Y'all got to learn a little bit about us and our past. And make sure you share y'all experiences with us. We want to hear y'all experiences too. So feel free to comment in our on our podcast, or feel free to hit us up on our social media, 30 in a mess. That's 30ANDAMESS. We love y'all. Drop us a DM if there's topics you guys want to hear about that we haven't covered yet. Drop that too. We'll be more than happy to discuss those too. So we will see y'all on the next one. We love y'all. See y'all next Monday.
Bye.